Is making £100,000 whilst working a job possible? Wallahi, yes, it's 100% possible. I am someone who is as transparent as I can be with you guys. I know you're thinking, I'm working a job, I'd love to start something for myself. It's not possible. It is possible, you can start something for yourself, but you know when you will never start something for yourself? Until you tell yourself it's possible. Most people would tell themselves it's not possible, I can't do it, I don't have time. It is possible, many people do it, and they do it doing this route. Now, I'm gonna explain it in this video, so hopefully it's of benefit to you guys. So let's get into it. Now, the one thing you don't want to do is charge normal people. What do I mean by normal people? Well, you don't want to charge the average customer, because I don't want you guys to make £20-30 profit per product or per service. How many times are you going to have to sell that product or service? Well, if you sell a product with a £30 profit margin 100 times, you're going to make £3,000. Great, fantastic, obviously, but it's not the £10,000 a month, which is what we're looking to make to get close to £100,000 a year. Now, bear something in mind, £100,000 a year job will be about £5,000 a month, but £100,000 a year as a business, you're going to be tax efficient, and therefore you should technically make more money anyway, whilst, if it was comparatively to a job. You should be tax efficient, and therefore you should end up with a little bit more money, but obviously I will leave that with your accountants to work out. So £10,000 a month, how are we going to get that in? Well, we're not going to go for customers and charge a product or a service. Why? Because we're going to have to do a lot of marketing, a lot of social media stuff. It's just a lot of work, and we're going to have to deal with a lot of customers, and I want this to be as easy as possible. Why? Because you guys are working jobs, you don't have time. So who has money? Let's think about this, right? If you look at a business now, when they are payrolling their staff, let's assume they've got one employee. Now, one employee on the minimum wage is going to cost a company £2,500. Why? Well, because minimum wage has gone up and employers' national insurance has gone up, which means the cost of having this employee is at least £2,500. So a company that has 100 employees, do you know how much they payroll in terms of money? Well, the payroll cost to them is £250,000, assuming every single person is on minimum wage. But we know that's not likely. The reality is it's probably closer to 400 because you have got managers, team leaders, supervisors, promotions. And if everyone was on minimum wage, 100 employees would cost £250,000. But the reality is it probably cost about £400,000 for a business to payroll 100 employees. That is powerful. Why is that powerful? Because it's for you guys to understand, if a company has 100 employees, that's how much money they have. £400,000 is what they are paying out every single month. Now the question is, do they have £5,000 or £10,000 or £15,000 to pay you? Of course they do, because it makes complete sense. If you could bring some value in terms of a service, in terms of a product, in terms of some marketing side, in terms of recruitment, because recruitment again is also a service. And so you guys need to focus on providing a service to a business. A service to a business. Why? Because the cost of starting a service-based business is basically nothing. What you're doing is giving your time to provide a service to a business, and in return of that, they pay you. But you don't want to just give a service to someone who pays you, well, close to nothing. So for example, editing a reel or a TikTok or a video, it's £100 for an hour, right? Or £100 for a video, or however you want to do it, right? That is how much you're going to make if you're editing a video. Now, if you switch your service and if you change that service to a business and you provide a business a service, then a business is going to pay you a lot more money in terms of marketing, in terms of services, in terms of anything, because they have more money. That's where the money is. So I want you guys, if you're working a job, to focus on a business that will actually pay you well. So that is where the focus should be. Businesses, because they have money and they will pay you well. And guess what? There's just less hassle. When you're charging customers, when you have hundreds of people that you have to deal with and average people that you have to deal with, well, they do unfortunately come with a lot of problems, a lot of queries and so on. And so it is much easier once you're working a job, if you're trying to make 100K a year, than to start a business and provide a service to businesses. Now, a product, a service that you can do, for example, is marketing. Right? You can provide marketing services to businesses. The problem with that is, as a Muslim, and as Muslims, I know generically that watch me, we can't have music, or we can't really put women on cameras, and there's logistical issues, right? And there are other things. You can maybe set up something in the AI space and increase productivity for businesses. Then you've obviously got recruitment, which is something we teach people. I mean, I always have the link of the video where how to start a recruitment company in the description, where we tell you exactly how to do that. So there is that way and how does that make money? Well, you supply a candidate to a company and you charge a percentage. And so, for example, you would charge 15% of £60,000, meaning you make £9,000 as a fee. So that's how a recruitment company makes money. If you are on £60,000, I help you get a job, I charge the company 15%, and I make £9,000 as a one-off fee to getting you a job successfully. Now, that is the lower end. 15% is on the lower end. £60,000 is a decent salary, there's no doubt, but you can obviously get people who are on higher salaries, 70, 80, 90,000 pounds. And one of the best ways for you to get clients to work with you, for example, because I know you're working a job, so you don't really have too much time. In fact, really, I just want you to give me an hour, hour and a half of your day, every day. And we'll come down to the consistency thing because that's quite important. If you use LinkedIn, massive, right? We have seen a lot of success using LinkedIn in terms of B2B. And we've made a lot of money on LinkedIn B2B. And so I would definitely recommend that. I would also say emails, mass emailing, very powerful if you know how to do it. And then I would say make a few calls where possible. Because there's no doubt, if you can get someone on the phone, you're able to build rapport where you can never build rapport on emails and on LinkedIn and on DMs and stuff like that. It's not possible. Speak to someone on the phone and, they'll bite your hand off. Do it over emails and they're less likely to buy. So that is your route to get businesses to work with you, and a service you need to provide to them. Charge them about £5,000 to £9,000 to £10,000, and it totally depends on the product or a service you provide to them. Now, I said something which is on the consistency side, and a mistake a lot of people make is they will go at 100 miles per hour for 2 weeks and then they just give up. Because that does happen, right? I know you guys watching this right now are thinking that is exactly what I've done. Because we want to go really hard, really fast, and when we don't see results, we give up. It's actually much better for you to work at 20 or 30% for a year or 2 years or 3 years. In fact, if you could work at 20% for 3 years, I mean, you will definitely make a lot of money, inshallah. But obviously, assuming your product and your service and all that stuff works, the technicalities of it work, it is better for you to work at 20% for 3 years than for you to work at 100% for 2 weeks. And to give you guys an idea, when I started my recruitment company, at 25, for the first 6 months, in fact, I would say for the first 3 years, I don't think we at any point worked more than 40% every single day. But the thing was, I turned up every day. I put in effort every day. I woke up every day. I sent emails. I sent calls. I did whatever I need, but I did that every single day. And most people are not willing to do that. And that is exactly where the issues, that is exactly where the problems lie. You want to start something, you do a little bit and you give up. Take this from me today. The only way you create change, the only way you start a business for yourself, the only way this is possible is if you do what you got to do. You work your job, but every single day you send a few emails, you send a couple of DMs, you make a couple of calls. And I guarantee, inshallah, in fact, I'm saying this, wallahi, I promise you guys, there are many people who we have taught recruitment to. In fact, 80% of the people that we teach recruitment to, 80% of them are working jobs and make money whilst working a job and then leave their job to start recruitment full time. That's exactly how they do it, right? So I know this works. There are many people who have done this. In fact, there are people who, a guy I saw a message the other day, made £20,000 in the last 6 weeks. So it's definitely possible. But you will never be able to do it until you tell yourself it's possible and until you put in the hard work. So make sure, stick at it, like this video, share with your family or friends, and I'll keep making videos for you guys that hopefully benefit you.